Good evening, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for hosting us over here in the gallery. Thank you for joining us every week, and those of you who actually share the wisdom with others, greatly appreciate. If you like it, if you spread it to one more person, you should know that it goes very, very far with this wisdom. It's not the same thing as any other things, but of course, when you share the wisdom, it's a great light to reveal for you, for your life, and for this world. We are in one of the most important week for those of us who study Kabbalah. Know that in this week is the revelation of what we call the 72 name of God. Now, what do you mean? God had 72 names only, or you have many names, different characters? We know that name represent a meditation or a connection, and obviously the 72 names specifically revealing the ability that each one of us had while Moses and the Israelites used those names to really part the Red Sea, right? So if you know now this week, the Israelite in the story going, I'm going to usually like the story, and then we're going to go deeper into the understanding for us. But now, last week we spoke about the last three plagues, the last three makot, where Pharaoh says, enough is enough, I let them go. We learn that the whole interaction we're talking about is between Moses and Pharaoh, between our soul and our ego. Our ego is Pharaoh. Simply, can you get rid of your ego? No, you just need to contain it. You don't need to get rid of it. You just need to contain it, not to be controlled or ruled by your ego or by selfishness, that the ego is the main source for that. The Kabbalists put it under an umbrella, call it the desire to receive for oneself alone. Ego, negative side, evil inclination, the devil, call it whatever you want. That's the same idea. So now, Pharaoh, represented by the source of all evil that is existed within us, and Moses would represent the voice of your soul. Now, we, the people, we want to release ourselves from the bondage of this physical world. Not to be confined, not to be measured in the 1%, but to really understand the impact in the spiritual realm. This week, we have the ability to really, first of all, get out of Egypt, which I will explain to you what it means, going out of Egypt. And second thing is to perform the highest level of miracles, which is splitting of the Red Sea. Next, there is another amazing revelation happening in this week, in this portion. One which is defeating the war against a nation called Amalek. I will explain to you soon what it means. So there's few things. Of course, there's many other things in this week, but I will focus on a couple of them because that it's too much to for our time. So the story goes that last week when Pharaoh hit what we call the Makat Bechorot, the firstborn, all firstborn dying, that's when he broke down. We learn that most of us, when there is an internal war, that you're not fighting against a city or against something external, you don't know how to defeat this war, right? How can you defeat the war against your headache or migraine, right? You tried so many things, but it's internal. It eats you from inside. Or anything that's happening internally that you cannot, even doctors cannot solve it. We learned it's already too late. You didn't hear the signs. You didn't get the messages. Pharaoh the same way. This is our Pharaoh. Didn't get the messaging and the message until it hits home. It hits deep. It hits in a way that you cannot avoid. And then, okay, let them go. So now, in this week, the Israelites going out of Egypt. What does it mean going out of Egypt? This week, when we're saying going out of Egypt, You going outside, or the opportunity to go outside of your Egypt. If you don't know that you are in Egypt, what is Egypt? Egypt is not a place. It's consciousness of what we call Meitzar. Meitzar is when you are too narrow, when you're too fragmented, when you're too isolated, when you're too focused on me, when you're too thinking too small. That's Egypt. Human being never came to this world to be so small. Animal have its own territory, its own job. Human has to expand the horizon, has to expand the human mind, the human interaction, the human experience. It's an unbelievable experience. And what do? Going to back to be a cocoon, separate. We have to expand. That's Egypt. Going out of this, anything in your life that is so small, narrow, almost like doesn't leave you air to breathe. You feel choked in that reality. This is the time to get out of that Egypt, out of this meitzar, out of this smallness, out of this confined, limited space. This is this week. And we know that going out of Egypt is going out of different form of life that we have, or different variation of this world that we have. Sometimes people live in a reality that all what they know how to do is quick fix. They quickly fixing everything. Stop jumping to a quick fix and live a reality that is a long-lasting correction as opposed to a temporary relief. Even that, just an experience of, I don't want to live a reality that everything, I'm just getting a little bit. I want everything. A reality that our negative attributes are taking place, meaning a reality that I live by anger. I solve everything with anger. I solve everything with complaining. I solve everything when I'm victim. I solve everything when I'm needy. Anyone that is needy, everybody is jumping to help them. Of course, if it's prolonging, eventually people get tired of you. Okay? So, living in this reality, or try to manipulate our way, or the least amount of effort, getting more. No, we need to decide to not live our life this way, because it's only going to get us back U-turn into the same Egypt. So that's the first big picture. What am I getting out of? This is this week. This is the energy. You can really understand that when you know what's happening cosmically, you can awaken that energy in your life. Second thing is the splitting of the Red Sea. So what happened? Technically, when they left Egypt, was the first day of Passover. And 7 days later, they got to what we call the Red Sea. So after they going out, all of a sudden, Pharaoh and all his people, all of a sudden, it says, "Vayefach levav Paro," and Pharaoh, all of a sudden, his heart twisted and switched. And they said, "Mazot asino, what did we do? We let them go. How did it happen?" Right? In this week, is recommended to anything that you have in the past that you still thinking, I could have, should have, would have, that reality, you can never win. Most of us, I could have, I should have thought about much bigger, or if I knew that they're going to give me investment, I should have asked for more money, or if I knew that they were going to say, okay, I would ask it earlier. Yeah, it's all about if I, could I, would I, right? That is usually what happens after you make a decision. You later on, I should have done this decision so quick, or I should include this, or I should include. Is it true to say that most of us, after decision or after some interaction, we always go back and have some regrets, or have some maybe we could have done it differently? It's not from a place of learning. It's from a place of regret. It's from a place of no awareness, and now I'm aware to what was there. If I would know, I will make a different decision. But now, in retrospect, we all great prophet of the past. We all know the prophecy of yesterday. That's everybody smart about it. What we want is to strengthen the presence and the future. That type of reality, it never come back. That's what happened to Pharaoh. Well, who is Pharaoh? You, us. Usually, after the fact, we're feeling bad. That's what Pharaoh happened. He's realized, whoa, let's chase after them. Why did we let them go? Now who is going to do the work? It's most of us. Usually, sometimes, let's say you have an employee and you get in the heat of the moment, you fired, go home. And then later on the next day, what have I done? I should have waited. I should maybe hire somebody else and then fire them. Or you quit your job too soon. Or you dropped a relationship before you even give it a real try. And then you go back and backtrack and find what's wrong. This is this lesson. This lesson is not about Pharaoh and the Israelites escaping Egypt. This is about us every single day. Go back to the same Egypt, the same small, the same vicious cycle. It's not from a place of learning, growing for the next. It's all about, that situation is lost. What a loss of opportunity. And that, not going back. The only reason you go back to a situation like Pharaoh came back because he realized he made a mistake. No, I want to go back for the sake of learning a lesson and move forward. Never dwell. Do not dwell. But I heard that person, I feel so bad. Dwell on it. Doesn't do anything. There's what we call that process of transformation. I got it. I see where my shortcoming. I'm not bringing back to the next. So as a result of what I'm telling you, you need to go through 3 steps. 3 steps. One is the level of thinking. That's happening in the head. The head need to be the headquarters of thoughts about everything or every decision you make. It might be a decision to eat a cookie. It doesn't matter. When you practice the small, you will be able to be very much know in the big picture what to do. Thoughts, you need to go through the thinking. How to expand my thinking, and in the same time, how to restrict them to really be connected to what is really going on. So, for example, let's say you have a friend, you want to help them. So I want to help them in my mind. I want to help everything, whatever they need, endless. Right? That's part of us that wants to think this way for our friends, for our family. On the other hand, that thought needs to come and do, we need to confine that thought. What does it mean, endless? Let's see. Let's start step number 1, step number 2, okay? Let's restrict that endless helping and see what is right for that individual. Second thing is, after you made that merging between both, in the language of Kabbalah, we call it da'at. This is how you develop consciousness, by unification of, I want everything, but I want to restrict that amount to what they can handle or what needed in this moment. Then you move it down. You move it down to emotion. What do I feel about it? If it's absolutely, or I have doubts, right? Comes the other side, says, wait a second, you need to confine, restrict or resist the doubt. I'm too excited. Reduce your excitement, is too much. Or let's say you go on a date and you're too desperate. Dating a desperate person, you feel it right away, right? When a person is so desperate to be in a relationship, or desperate for a deal, or desperate for investment, that energy is felt. So that's an emotion that you need to resist, you restrict that, okay? Not to lead by that emotion. Then the third aspect, which we call Rosh, Toch, Sof, beginning, middle, and end, if you call it in this way. Toch is the body, the emotions. And then Sof, the final, is how do I package that right? That is really right for that moment. So if we're thinking about an action that you need to do, in order for you not to go back and feel bad for what you decide, and this is wrong and this is bad and I should have, could have, every decision you're about to do, you need to go through the steps. And after you go through the steps, you made a decision and you don't go back on your decision. That is the key. You going out of Egypt, there's no turning back. Because once they went out, you can read in the story, it says, oh, they coming to kill us, let's go back. At least there we had food, now you bring us to the desert. You take me to the wilderness, there's nothing there. Some of the people, they call them the Erev Rav, the people who are, some of us have what we call the Erev Rav, the mixed feelings. When you I have a mixed feeling about it, it comes from the negative side. It comes from that energy. Yeah, it's great, but I have a reservation, it comes from that place, right? So we know that when you make decision to do something and you go with that, but you stay with the right consciousness, even if it seems like the wrong thing, it will change the split, the ocean will be split. Even if it seems like I'm out and they coming to kill us, the Egyptian came back to kill us, right? The negativity come back and I'm facing something incredibly hard. It doesn't matter because you're going to cross that. You're going to cross that like a king. If you stay connected to your decision to leave, for example, you leave a job and then you realize, wow, what a silly mistake. Why did I quit my job? I don't have anything lined up. The fact that you're questioning your decision, that is the problem. Not that you don't have now anything lined up right now. And most of us, oh, I should go back. What have I done? What a mistake. No. But I don't see anything. There's no other opportunities. It's almost like the ocean is here. What do I do? It says, and then the Israelite screaming to the Creator, right? Why did you bring us here? They're screaming on Moses. And the voice came and says, Ma titzak elai. Why you shout at me? What is the message? I gave you already the tools. You already have everything you need in order to cross the next hurdle or the next ocean that's standing in front of you. Don't go back and don't question your decision. Because what you do, you weaken in who you are. You're weakening, you create nevochim and ba'aretz. Nevochim, the word is almost like they are embarrassed because they say the Egyptians seen the Israelite and they say, they are it seems like they're lost over there. It seems like they're lost and they get stuck. Let's go and attack them. Nevochim, the word nevochim is like embarrassed or lost. But if you take the word nevochim, it's the same energy of 2 times the word din. Din is judgment. When you get lost again, which means when you questioning your decision to leave that relationship that was abusive for you, don't go back. When you decide to go on that trip, when you decide to go start a business or whatever it is, you don't go back. But if you're thinking and you created right, even if it seems like wrong, seems like, oh, now I have a bigger challenge, I have a Red Sea over here. No, it's going to part. Do not question your decision. Do not go back. Because what in the situation? Nevochim, you create double amount of judgment for yourself. For the decision you make and for your situation right now. So again, I want to give you the process. You decided, let's say, to study something. 2 seconds later, I said, I don't want to study it, right? What is end up happening? It's not a problem. Oh, I decide to, let's say, you decide to study Kabbalah, and then I said, no, I don't want to study. No problem. What do? Nothing is against you, but what end up happening, your decision maker, you weakening your decision maker. You're saying to yourself, I'm not in control. I'm not with the light. And what happening? You create judgment to your new path and to what decision that you make. Absolutely not. Therefore, the Kabbalists give us an exact direction. Bring it to the thinking. Think about it. Not like everybody. Sometimes people tell me, oh, I need to think about it. They're not really sitting and thinking about it more than just the moment that they say, I need to think about it. A lot of people, they don't know how to think about things. This is the system. The Kabbalists explain, you go through the steps, thoughts in your head. You make the endless desire, endless wanting, and then from the other hand, called Chokhmah and Bina, called the energy of Bina, you restrict it. Wait a second. How much can I handle? How much they can handle? You're making through the thoughts. What is the thoughts? Can I handle this decision? Do I really, like let's say you decide to do a diet or to start eating healthy. What does it mean? Everything is healthy. All processed food is done. I'm sleeping 8 hours to 10 hours a day. Wait a second. That's the thought. So now in this moment, wait a second. Let's start small. Let's start with certain amount. Let's start with this. You bring it down in the thoughts. And then you ask yourself, okay, now second level. How do I feel about it? Do I feel I'm suppressing something? Do I feel it's right for me right now? Do I feel I do it because of others? Do I feel like I'm following something, or I really feel like this is what I want to do? You go through that. And then you package that. Package that meaning in a way that you can handle it. And it's something that is like you can visit. You can say, okay, you know what? I'm going to start. Yeah, I want to do the rest of my life. Wait, let's package it for 7 days. Okay, let's do 7 days and then visit after that, right? That's the process. And if you make decisions in this way, right, there's no point of going. You will never need to question your decision, and then you will never need to weaken in who you are and create double amount of judgment and difficulty for your continuous process. So I hope that's very clear, and then I can move forward to the next idea. But think about it again. Take the time to understand the system, because this is what it is. Moses, Israelite, Pharaoh, it's you. It's you and your negative side. There is nothing out there. There's no Egypt. There's no desert. There's nothing like that. It's us right now dealing the same thing. What to eat tomorrow morning, when to go to sleep, to have a drink, or to stop with that, or to stop with this. It doesn't matter. This is exactly what we're dealing with. The guilt, the shame, the regret cannot be part of you. It doesn't really do much for you. It does the opposite. Shame, guilt, and blame, it takes you down, my dear. So next thing is another level that is very difficult for us, but I would definitely recommend that highly recommended in this week. When you open the portion and read the writing, it says, "Vayi beshalach Paro." When Pharaoh sent the Israelites, "Vayi beshalach Paro et ha'am velo nacham," it's continuing. "Vayi beshalach Paro." And when Pharaoh sent the nation out of Egypt, that's how it started. What is the idea of beshalach, when he sent? If you switch the letters, you get the word belachash. Beshalach, belachash. Belachash means in a whisper, meaning silent. The highest level of form of prayer that the Kabbalists explain is when you get to the prayer of the silent prayer, which is almost like a whisper that nobody can hear. Is between you and your Creator. It's the highest form of communication. But Why now? What does it mean? Vayehi, when I get to the level of whisper, right? Then I can overcome Pharaoh. Pharaoh is the noise. Pharaoh is the loud noise in your head. Pharaoh is the noise that tells you, take, grab, that's for you. You know, take the honor, take the this. And the light, your light, is whisper. You cannot hear the light of the Creator really shine inside of you when you into your Pharaoh. Only when you silent that noise. Only when you silent, quiet down. Like really, really, this is a very deep meditation. Very deep meditation. You don't need to go to a mountain. You don't need to go to a journey. You don't need to go upstate or downstates or whatever it is. Just be in a state of whisper. Wherever you are, in the midst of the noise, in the midst of the argument, in the midst of the argument, in the heat of the moment, wait a second. The light within me is only in focus and it comes in whisper. And if I'm silent enough, I would hear the message. We subject or submit ourselves to the noise and we think noise, that's what I need to follow. It seems flashy, that's what I need to go to. Absolute. And again, sometimes if you're really listening to people, really listening, not what you want to hear, right? A lot of people come and tell me things, right? But if I'm really listening, I hear what they really want to tell me, not what they speak words. The reality is that sometimes somebody tells you one thing, but it tells you actually something else. But because we're not listening, we focus on the noise. So how do I, or where can I be able to adapt myself to the listening? Why? Because the Creator is whispering, but you know, there's another animal or entity that whisper, right? They call it the snake. Have you ever seen a snake? What is he saying? Right? Little whisper. So how do I know the whisper that I'm hearing is not a snake? Right? How do I know it's the light of the Creator? And the key for to know that you're not getting whisper of the negative side, the snake is also silent. It's like, it doesn't bark, it doesn't yell. Right? He's also whispering. So how do I know that I'm not really being moved by the snake? It's only to check where I'm coming from. And I'm not saying I have a good intention, you know, my heart is in the right place. No, 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 no. Your mind, your thoughts also dictate to your emotions. So it's not enough that you're a good person. It's not enough that you have a good feeling, good intention. That's not enough. It's not enough. We know the good intention, right? They paved you a road to hell, right? We know that. Am I clean in my consciousness? Not conscious. Is my consciousness is pure? Is it clean? Is it really for the sake of others? Or I'm looking just to my benefit? In me deciding this or deciding that, where is the weight? More for me or more for the others? This can help you to reduce the snake. Do I want only my benefit or the world internally? Another thing, check, am I hiding something? Can I be fully transparent? Am I really speak the truth over here? You know, it's the snake is under control. Because we all have it. We all have it. But it was a little lie. Still, the snake is there. To get to a real whisper, a real message, a real focused message of the Creator, you have to be complete silent of your ego. Like, take the honor, take the credit. Shh, relax, right? I want to hear the message over here. Or sometimes when people are too excited, sometimes they're not really paying attention where the other person is. Okay? So when you really go this week, you can get to an internal silent whisper, you call it being peaceful, right? Being peaceful is not just like being on a mountain, it's being in the noise and really focus on what is really happening, being this is a high level of awareness, you know? And it's really every single day, every single day, every single moment. So last thing is the splitting of the Red Sea. It says something very unique. It says, "Ve'alchu bayabasha betoch hayam." It says that the Israelites actually went on the land inside the ocean, right? The split was parted. You know, some people are busy, you know, archaeologists or historian or scientists. They're busy like to look where the ocean was split, and they find evidence and they find the location and many other factual things. That's not Kabbalah. We not being busy with finding the quote unquote 1% physical proof. We don't need that. We don't need it. Why? Because we experiment with the spiritual study of the same situation, and you know the situation was true. Whether it's happened physically or not, who cares? Why is it important? If I get the message, it's way more important than finding where exactly was it. The splitting of the Red Sea was for one purpose only. Because a lot of people say commentary, because they wanted to perform how God of the Hebrew was so powerful to do it. They did another performance of miracles. What do you mean? 2 seconds ago, there was every other week, every other month, there was a big miracle in Egypt. What is not enough? They didn't see the 10 plagues. They didn't see people perish. They didn't see all of that. Of course they saw. Why they need another miracle? And that's the idea. The idea of the miracle of the splitting of the Red Sea was not a miracle, but an activation of a system we call the 72 names, which is the ultimate chesed of the Creator. Which one? In the splitting of the Red Sea, in the story, we see there are 3 verses. Each verse has 72 letters. So from the 3 sentence where it's written the splitting of the Red Sea, the Kabbalists take that line, that verse, 3 verses, and take the first letter of each, and then the combination of them eventually gave us the 3-letter combination for 72 different names, like that. Okay? If anybody's interested or want to know more, Adam, or in the chat, we can post the chart. How does it look like, or what to meditate on? But for now, I want to make sure we understand the consciousness that is really revealing to this cosmos, to this reality right now. These 72 names have the ability to activate what we call in Kabbalah mind over matter. Mind control the matter, not matter control me, not effect control the cause. Effect can never control the cause. Effected reality can never affect the cause. If a tree grows, it's already out that the fruits cannot harm the seed of that tree, right? If something happened already, it cannot influence the cause. The 72 names are the ultimate tool to control the cause, to be the cause through energy of mercy. Each one of those names is divided to, obviously, 3 letters. Each name has 3 letters. You know, some of them that you probably know. If you know, for example, different meditation, they're using those names, but people don't know it is. For example, Om. Have you heard about Om before? The Hinduism, you know, they're using this meditation Om, right? Aleph, Vav, Mem. There's many other meditation in the 72 names that we're using, and it's been used for so many years. Up until the revelation of Kabbalah in the world, it was concealed. Nobody could use it. Now it's very powerful tools. Each one of them have a unique channel to meditate on unlocking the channel of love, of healing, of time traveling, teleportation, all these powers, certainty, prosperity, it's channels. So if you remember, I told you what level we're talking about. 3 levels: Rosh, Toch, Sof, head, body, and the end, right? Which is all these 3 letters have that ability. These names have that power to completely help you, I would say, reprogram yourself to operate through these powers, through these sources, not your ego or any selfish desires. So this is what awakening this week. Overcoming our own Red Sea. Who cares? They split it 3,000 years ago. I care how to split the Red Sea in my life. What is the challenge that you feel like is unheard of? Using that chart, awakening mind over matter. Activate ultimate chesed, ultimate mercy, for merciful energy, energy of giving from within you, and that chart can create miracles for you. So highly recommended this week. There's many gifts, and obviously, if anybody want to know more, please let us know. Write for us or let us know. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of the week.